Ooh! Did I break the needle? Yep. The last video I did where I made a shirt that actually fit me, that actually got some views. I was very surprised. So we're doing the obvious follow-up. I'm gonna make some pants that actually fit me. But first, I need actual materials to do it. It's not like I have a big closet of fabric that's never been used before and would be perfectly usable for pants. I want to go to op shop and actually bring you with me. So, come on. So here we are at this op shop. I first looked at the Blu-rays and found Phantom of the Opera and Love Never Dies, and I picked them up. But then I moved over to the single bed sheets section, and the bed sheets usually have some good material options. This green, this peach, this whatever this is, but this blue gingham I thought looked very cool with that floral lining, so I picked it up. And then this upholstery fabric, which is very much my vibe and what I like. Also found this Dare Iced coffee. It didn't have a price tag on it, but I'm assuming it was cheap. Don't mind this in my car. I'm gonna fix it. Don't worry about it. I just got out of Savers. There was this gingham one that stood out immediately, and on the reverse, it has this cool floral pattern. The second was this upholstery material. The texture and the feel and the weight is just so great. That's another option. I'll decide when I get home. All up, I spent like 16 bucks on all that stuff. Now, go back home and we'll figure out what I'm gonna do with this fabric. So I have a decision to make. The blue gingham fabric or the upholstery one. Actually, my fiance made it a very easy question to answer because as soon as she saw this, she was like, you can make an apron out of that for me. So that makes this decision pretty easy using this upholstery fabric. So compared to the shirt, making these pants is a bit of a different process. For the shirt, I had this pattern that I found online, but this time I've only made one pair of pants and that was just me guessing. I had these old like jogger jean things I got from Kmart. I cut them up into their individual pieces so I can use this as a template. I made a green set of pants in the past. I'll go get them actually. These pants here, they're like Shrek Ogre Green, but the fit of them are a bit strange, but I want to alter it a bit so the legs are a bit wider, they feel a bit narrow. It's also a bit tight going this way. I want to add some length to the top here. I suppose the next step is cutting up the pattern pieces. So a basic pair of pants only have like 3 patterns you actually need. 2 fronts, 2 backs, and 2 pockets. And with this one, this is the front piece. So I'm gonna cut out 2 of them. All right, the voiceover is back. So here's me laying out the piece, the pattern piece, and then me outlining it with some chalk, and then adding the more straight leg and the seam allowance to it. And then in a second, I'm just cutting out the fabric into its finished piece. And this is the front bit, which I'll tell you in 2 seconds, but yeah. These are the front panels done. Just have to do the other side and then the pockets. And so I'm just doing the same process for the back, and I didn't realize that I was like talking all the way throughout this and thinking it was going to be usable content, but this is the kind of content that I was actually spouting out in the moment. It's sweaty work. It really is sweaty work. I always forget how much of a workout it is to fucking cut fabric. Deeply relevant stuff, deeply. The back pieces are done. I didn't realize how many holes there are in this fabric. You can sort that out. We can do some cool patch shenanigans. I am truly on my upcycling shit. I cut up some old pants and I'm gonna use them as the pockets. Now we have all the pattern pieces, it's time for sewing. For the actual construction of the pants, I found this TikTok video. Because at After Always Apparel on TikTok, he upcycles clothes from curtains and stuff. And he has a great video about simple pants with pockets, which I followed religiously to actually figure out the process in which to sew something together. Like I could sit down and figure it out, but if there's a TikTok video telling me how to exactly what to do, I'm gonna take that over like messing it up. So the first step to construct these pants is by adding the pockets to all of the individual layers. I measured 5 inches from the top of each piece, added the pocket on, good sides facing. All we have to do is stitch down this line, flip it over, top stitch, and we do that 4 times. There we go. A nice edge stitch pocket. Focus, focus, not on me. Yeah. So I have to do it 3 more times and then we can actually make it look like pants. This is the framing we're going with. The next step is to sew the back together and the front together. So there's 2 panels in the front, good sides facing, and stitching down this kind of stitch. That looked really bad. This side is the good side, bad side. Then we just pin along this section. See, they kind of look like pants almost, kind of now. They just kind of look like big sheets of fabric on camera. But in person, trust me, they look a bit more like pants. Let's do the back piece. Once again, all pinned up, ready to be sewn. Alrighty, we are on the home stretch of these pants. Next thing we have to do is sew these panels good sides facing. So sewing down the side, around the pocket, and down there. Do that to both sides, inside leg too. Pin that together and sew that. What the hooey? We're trying on the pants, and we're gonna see how they fit. These seem humongous, not gonna lie. Yeah, look, this seems a little high. I like the length by the feet. Pockets are also a bit small. I can't put my hand in my pocket without like shoving it in. I think that'd be good. I'm choosing to be optimistic. You know those games in school where like you're in a potato sack or whatever and you're jumping, like a race? I feel like I'm in one of them. So looking back at that footage, I saw that they are so high-waisted, so I cut off 2 inches from the top. So the next part I'm gonna do is add the elastic. So with the elastic, I kind of just measure it around my waist. So mark it right there. And then I go like 3 inches shorter from what that measurement was. Take off about that much. So that feels good. Now I believe the hardest part of adding elastic into pants is keeping it even around the whole waistline. But basically you take your elastic and mark it at every quarter. So that's half, and then mark out a quarter. Do that for the other side. All we have to do is simply line up those chalk marks to the seams of your pants. Line that up to the middle seam. Line that with that chalk mark right there. Then grab a pin, pin in, pin out. So now it's all lined up, and there's equal amount of elastic on each quarter panel. But now we have to sew it in a way where it's not gonna look stupid. All you have to do is, while you're sewing, stretch out the elastic. So when the elastic does its work, it'll sort of come together evenly, cohesively. So we're going for C on my machine, almost the widest zigzag. The length, I'm just gonna go the widest length. I'm gonna be properly secured once we sort of hem it. And you kind of have to fight with the machine to try and even it out. And I sort of take it 1 quarter at a time, just so you can reposition the fabric and everything. We got this elastic right here. We're gonna fold it down once, fold it again, sew along there, stitch it in place. It's pretty thick here, because this is upholstery fabric over like 3 times. So it's gonna be a slog for my machine to get through, but I'm on the longest stitch, so hopefully it should be all good. Ooh! Did I break the needle? Yep. I broke the needle. That's fine. So in my wisdom, I didn't really explain what's going on here, but essentially I pushed the needle through the fabric and that broke the needle, but also unseated like the little bobbin case underneath. So I had to look like a YouTube video about how to put it back into place, but then we got it into place and we kept sewing. So I'm just gonna hem the bottom of the pants and then I'll show you the finished pants right now. Alrighty, So these are the pants. I like the boxiness of them, like how wide-legged they are. They're nice and heavy, they're nice and warm, so that's good for the Australian winter right now. The only thing I have to knock is I used a smaller elastic and it's not quite doing its job. So I had to take it in at the back. And I think if I were to wear these properly, I would add belt loops around it and I'd wear a belt with it just to keep it up. Also, the other thing is the pockets are a bit small. I had to cut the pocket bags smaller because I didn't have much material with those shorts that I was cutting out. I'm happy with them. There's a few things to change and a few things I can go back and edit in the future. Thanks for watching, guys. Tell me what you'd like me to make in the comments below, if you're so inclined. And if you like the content, stick around. There'll be more of it. So, yeah. See ya. Bye.